Hello Galactic family. Fear generates suffering. Question. The peace of being in tune with the Masters, and eternal gratitude to God. I have a question about my life today. I find myself struggling and grateful in my life, grateful to God for being at peace, grateful to God for being in God. I am grateful to the Most Holy Master Jesus Christ for being in peace. And I thank all the Holy Masters for being on the portal of God's peace. And I feel that I have to surrender myself to God, in the power of God's will. And I feel that I am suffering incessantly by the will of God. And I want peace in my life. And I know that God is the infinite power of peace. I want to understand why we have to suffer in life on planet Earth. And when we will have the holy peace of God in our hearts, minds, bodies and spirits of God. I am grateful and give myself the eternal peace of God the Father. Gratitude, may peace be now. Answer. Beloved daughter, what you do not realize is that you are in constant suffering because you refuse to see and accept the peace and happiness that God is placing for you daily. Unlike what daughter believes, suffering is not the will of God, but rather is the path chosen by so many of us while we are still learning to tread the road of truth. Realize, daughter, that we live inserted in diverse material experiences, which were creating a reality within our EU. This reality materialized in us, as if it were a dark rock. This rock was formed with our experiences, where we repeatedly refused to hear the voice of God. This flight of truth, this struggle against the truth of God, is what causes suffering, for you walk contrary to your true purpose, your true nature and essence, which is God. For you are one with Him, you are He. Therefore, there is no way God can punish you or make you suffer. It only calls you to return to the source. That is what you are. Therefore, when you choose the path of suffering, or when you perceive yourself inserted in a reality of suffering, stop and analyze the moment in your life. Begin to realize how you just suffer because you are afraid to change your path. Because you feel trapped in the reality you have chosen, and you cannot see the way out because you cultivate the fear within you. The fear of following the open door of God that is shining for you. Notice how you are cultivating fear. And this fear generates suffering. For it removes it from its true nature, which is union with God. Be at peace, my dear. I'm a Master PTA. Looking for connections. Question. Hello, Masters. A priori, I want to thank the attention of those who donate their time to channel these messages, and especially to you who know my heart even more than myself at that moment. I have noticed great spiritual evolution in these last months. Sometimes it seems to me that my linear mind does not understand, and even has difficulty recognizing who I am because of who I was and who I am today and I have become every day. Beloved Master Saint Germain, I have so much appreciation for you, and I thank you for having assisted me when, at the 40-degree fever due to tonsillitis, you interceded for me and assisted me in my healing process. I thank you, the other beings that were together, which unfortunately I do not remember, and thank you for the privilege of seeing the wonders that are in Mount Shasta. My experiences have been concentrated even more, and it has caused me some confusion. Recently, on a trip to the beach, I had an astral projection and I saw a dragon, who even talked to me and allowed me to touch his skin and understand that he has been with me for some time and we know of other existences. I know that I have a strong connection with the water element and with the aquatic beings, but I also know that the dragon is an element of earth and fire. I have noticed that after this episode, I feel the presence of the dragon often, and of some other beings, that I have not yet been able to develop myself to discover who they are, and how I can work with them. The love that these beings send to me, is of deep love, friendship, companionship and understanding, and I often feel deep emotion. Please, I would like help in finding me, and understanding myself in the midst of this hurricane of events and discoveries. In the astral projection, I remember the dragon saying, "It's time to wake up, child. It's time to wake up, child." How can I better connect with this dragon, and why has he often manifested himself to me? Thank you so much for love and patience. Answer. My daughter. This dragon is something inside. To connect to it is necessary to open to feel rather than project. When you feel like you are, you will see that there are still restrictions to be worked on. There are still doubts within you that hide behind such beautiful experiences. In narrating the episode of the dragon and, instead of connecting to it, seek the connection with yourself by being sincere to your feelings, anchoring humility, that which serves and floats to give itself, without wanting, not being, just being sincere with herself. If you desire a deeper connection, you must first seek this connection with yourself, for it is from this that you will open yourself to other deeper connections. And this connection only occurs when we have the courage to get in touch with the deepest pains of the soul, to look at our darkness, our children, and allow ourselves to be enlightened. It is no longer daughter time, to hide behind external connections. They will come, yes, at the appropriate time, but time calls for a greater connection, the heart, love, and especially of sincerity with all that we have inside us. I thank you for the memory and the affection. We will always be by your side, but listen with my soul to my request and enjoy the opportunity to transmute elements that hurt inside you. Let the tears come, but feel and feel. Look within, feeling everything you are, for this is the truth, and there you will find the dragon. Be in peace. I am Saint Germain. Headaches and food restrictions. Question. Dear Masters, I know that one of my life lessons is to overcome all negativity in my life, but I find it difficult to achieve. I have many headaches, I do energizing, I meditate, and I do not improve. What am I doing wrong? I know you have many beings of light with me, but I cannot access them. I greatly urge your guidance. I also recently discovered a food restriction on various foods. What it wants to show me. Does my migraine have anything to do with it? Gratitude. Answer. Beloved daughter. What happens is that it holds the negativity within itself. Your consciousness is expanding. The connection with the higher beings already exists. But you still insist on keeping certain thoughts and habits of restraint and fear attached to matter. When you make the connection with more subtle energies, certain thoughts and attitudes no longer attune to your energy and therefore need to be clean and transmuted. In that case, daughter, you simply have to release what you are holding. Release, and stay light. Notice the moment when the pain begins, and notice that moments before you continue to cultivate thoughts that no longer fit your energy and the connection you made with the subtler plans. Allow these thoughts and feelings to be released, and then the pain will disappear. These are not dense energies to attack you, but only old thoughts, and an old way of life, in the process of transformation. Be at peace, my daughter. I'm a Master Pitya. I would like a love. Question. It is with great joy that I come to ask for guidance for this moment when doubts and emotions have been somewhat confusing. My life has gone through a great change. I feel sometimes that I am not yet adapted to them. Now I feel that I must return, now that I must move on. I fell in love, and although I know I should not create expectations, This ends up, because the feeling that we have something to live together here is very strong. I feel that we are helping us in this search. But everything is stagnant, and I think it's time to act and not wait for everything to happen, because this wait has kept me stuck only in this focus that is to resolve this relationship. I believe that guilt and fear cause me not to realize the real desires of my heart, and then I cannot take the direction. I do not know which way to go. I do not know what attitude to take. This is all distressing me because I know there's something bigger waiting for me, and I'm standing here in this tangle that I created myself. I know that all decisions are made by me, but help me point the direction that most aligns with my mission and desires of my soul. I love you with a human heart and soul, and thank you for the protection I receive. To the masters and channels, gratitude. Answer. Daughter, first breathe 3 times, calmly, 1, 2, 3. Focus and repeat this exercise several times a day. Breathe, calm down and let your feelings flow. Do not crash as you are doing, let them guide you. If you feel fear, anguish, let it come, but do not arrest yourself for fear that you are doing something wrong, that something will not work. Everything is perfect and is in the most perfect order. Now, daughter, notice the sense of anguish that brings with it the insecurity that it cannot be loved, that it is not wanted. And it is precisely this feeling that hinders the free flow of your emotions. For daughter, by not letting those feelings pass you by, deep down is the fear of being disappointed and not being reciprocated. You end up blocking the free flow of love in your life. It is as if on one hand your heart feels love and on the other the mind blocks you with the fear of love. Daughter, but when you give yourself to life, accepting yourself as you are and anchoring a feeling of enjoying life, to enjoy the moment while it lasts, you start to release that fear and have fun with those situations. In that moment, instead of this confusion, you will bring joy. And that joy will turn into trust that will radiate from your smile, and that posture will be irresistible, for it will become naturally beautiful, and many will spread a red carpet to pass through. You see, daughter, that everything is a mental posture of how we see life. So take 3 more breaths, calmly, and bring your self-love to yourself that will become great joy. Be in peace, daughter, that you are loved beyond all the limits you imagine. I am your brother, Lord Emmanuel. Son, sadness and drug. Question. Hello masters, dear ones. Could you advise me on my son? What can I do to help you? He is using drugs, has no initiative for life, and this worries me a lot, and in an attempt to help, I think I am doing everything wrong. Thanks for everything. Answer. I tell you to let life flow, to take them where they should lead them. You know, for much of what we think is right, as wrong, is not always so. If your child searches for a path that does not please you, that you know will not do you good, you must ask yourself why this happens. Well, tell me something now. Would you do anything for your son? Absolutely everything? Even though he is not by your side? Then you must unconditionally support him to follow his purpose. You, daughter, come from a family constellation where much of what your child feels is not his. I would like to explain to you that your child carries genetic inheritances that cause him pain. Although he has assumed this condition when he comes into the world, he needs to find the way to transcend this condition. There is within you a feeling of sadness that manifests itself by not understanding themselves capable of being happy, of showing the world their gifts. And your son suffers from this condition that he now fights against. What is inside him must be broken so that he can free himself from this restraint and can continue his free life. It will take a lot of strength from them both, courage, to let go the reins of life and opt for a path of empowerment. He must therefore put all the effort to help him recognize himself, to treat these inner pains. But no, daughter, you do not need to do it alone, you can get professionals to help you. But we warn you that you also need to change your behavior towards him, leaving him feeling capable, even if it's far from you. You must release him to follow the way of the heart, even if it means losing control over his life. You are at the crossroads of life, where you must decide what you want for the future. They say both freed, able, but happy, or together carrying constraints and difficulty. It's time to show it to him, and we repeat, daughter, you do not have to do it alone. For his part, he must release so that the help comes, even in a way that does not please him, but it is time for the total liberation so that it empowers and returns to the path of goodness. Be at peace, daughter. I'm Gautama. What are my talents? Question. I want to find my professional path. The one who fills my heart. The only thing that excites me in the material world is the idea of making music, but I'm not young anymore and I do not know how to play any instrument. Every time I start learning some, I feel like a fool trying something that looks more like a youthful dream. I wanted to know if I really have the talent to create songs and whether this can be a path, regardless of age, or if my vocation will still be discovered. At the same time, my spiritual quest is the great occupation of my daily life. And I think maybe my vocation is related to spirituality. Any leads? Thank you for all your messages. Thank you for such a beautiful job. Answer. Son. If you will allow me to call you that, for you are still a young man of tender age. And many times, with all due respect, we have fun with your questions. For it is entering the best age, that of the creative phase, that of wisdom, that of confidence. And I'll tell you a secret. Great parts of the most beautiful songs of this world were not made in this plane, but were felt through the cosmos. Music, my brother, is nothing more than an expression of the sounds that permeate the cosmos. He is a manifestation of God. But, my brother, what holds you to not following this path is the fear of judgment, of being silly as you say. But why not let the mind flow, let the energies pass by allowing creativity to flow? What I advise you to do is to consider this, for the moment, not as something serious, but a pastime to expand your creativity. Disregard what you say, just practice for love and let the universe bring you the signs of talent. Music will open your creativity so that more can arise. So just allow the imagination to flow freely even if you consider it childish and trust the result. I am your brother, a little more, but a great admirer of art. Serapis Bey